Hey everyone, this is Dean with DCA Crypto. Got an awesome market update for you guys. As you guys know, the market's been crashing, having a lot of fun in the market. Prices are down. Some people are freaking out. A bunch of people are selling their coins, but I'm here to tell you what's actually going on behind the scenes. So I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, smash that like button, and let's jump into it. All right, so we've had some red in the market recently. I kind of told you guys I expected this to happen. I actually expect for us to go lower. I think that the governments are going to keep pushing FUD into this market more than likely to get these prices lower here towards the middle of the year like they always do. And then they're going to push things up and lower interest rates towards the end of the year and make us scream into a big bull run. So that's my opinion on it. I'm going to give you the reasons why I think that's happening, and we'll jump into it here. So currently the crypto market's at $2.4 trillion, down from about $2.9 trillion just a few months ago. Bitcoin is kind of back up to, and I'm recording this last night, so the prices, could definitely fluctuate between now and then, but back up to about $64,000. It was down to $60,000. We've seen ETH crash down to $2,800. Solana was down to under $125. Just every coin pretty much crashing and dumping. Avalanche was down to $28 or something. Now a lot of these are starting to recover quite a bit. Chainlink still down around $13. ICP around $12. And we might see some more, lower price action on these, but I think the dip from this FUD is maybe over, and things are starting to recover a little bit. So what's going on in the behind the scenes here? So mainly, I think a lot of this is due to the Israel-Iran war fear, with Iran shooting missiles at Israel. I think they launched like 100 missiles or something as kind of like a attack on Israel. But I can promise all of you guys, and I'm no war expert, but this is all freaking staged BS by these governments trying to stage things to make it look like there's some kind of war going on, so they can pull other countries into this conflict and they can make more money off of it. That's what this is all about. They want to scare the markets, drive these prices down. Then they're going to have all their cronies invest in these war companies, and they're going to get all these conflicts going, and they're going to drive the prices up of these war stocks and stuff like they always do, and try to make money off from these stupid war issues that they always create. The whole thing, and this is just my opinion, guys, so take it for what you want, but all these wars that have been going on recently is all politics. It's 100% politics. It could all be 100% prevented if our governments really wanted to prevent any of it, but they don't because they're making too much stupid money off of it. So this is what's going on. They're playing with wars and trying to drive fear and make money off of these, basically, is what it's going to do. Because if Iran really wanted to attack Israel, it would have actually attacked it. It wouldn't just sent like 100 missiles from hours and hours away, letting, hey, heads up, guys, there's missiles coming your way, and, give them plenty of time to shoot them all down. Like, it's ridiculous. There's, it's scary for the people that are involved, but the governments themselves aren't scared. They don't, they don't feel like they're really threatened. This is all stupid stage BS by the governments. And if you listen to a lot of the people that actually know what's going on, kind of like Robert Kennedy Jr., and, he'll tell you straight up that a lot of this is our government's manipulating things behind the scenes, intentionally causing conflict to take over countries and all this other crap that goes on a daily basis with our government and the United Nations and all of these countries. They kind of collaborate together to cause these conflicts because it's in their best interest financially for them to do that, and that's pretty much what it's all about. So I don't think this is a big deal, this conflict. Sure, they could escalate it into a real war, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're just playing around here with these threats. If you go to this article here on the AP News, they talk about launching ballistic missiles and drones, but it's mostly just drones and not so much the ballistic missiles. And, the U.S. intercepted a bunch of these. Of course, they didn't say how many. It's hard to say, but some of these missiles could accidentally hit another country and kind of pull them into the war too. So that might happen as well, just conveniently. That could be a possibility too. But overall, I think our governments are stupid, and they're always trying to cause conflict and cause, fear at certain convenient times of the market, just so they can make money off of it and get all their, special interests involved with all these conflicts that are going on in the world. And they're playing like chess behind the scenes and taking over a lot of these governments. But overall, I think this dip is kind of like pretty much over for this part of the dip. We could get some more FUD that could drive these prices down lower. I do see us going down lower than this, likely, towards the middle of the year. I would think that we're probably going to keep coming down before we take off into a bull run. Bitcoin hitting 60,000. I think, we're probably due for a bigger correction than that, maybe in the 57 to 53,000 range. If that happens, then prices are really going to get low on a lot of these alts. And that's why I've been not really purchasing a lot of alts over the last several months after the market has pumped up a lot. I've been more focusing on projects that haven't launched yet, because the market conditions really don't affect the price of the coins that haven't launched yet. It can affect the launch itself and how successful the launch is, but the actual price of the coin that you're purchasing at is not affected by that. So that's where I've been sticking most of my investments, is like pre-sales and ICOs and stuff like that, while the prices were pumped up. And now that the prices are coming back down, I may start sticking some money into some of these alts that have had some big corrections and start adding more to my portfolio for when we likely take off into a bigger bull run later this year. And I think mostly this correction, and if we get a deeper correction, it'll be healthy for the market. Kind of gives more people an opportunity to get coins at a lower price before we take off in that main bull run. I was actually hoping we didn't take off to like $100,000 Bitcoin, before we got a big correction, because that would pretty much, be very unhealthy for the market and could cause the bull run to end super early if that were the case. So I know these corrections can be painful for a lot of people, but I think that they're temporary. All right, so some other news in crypto here. This article, basically on Contraband.com, is talking about the Bitcoin ETFs that are arriving in China, possibly as early as next week, specifically in Hong Kong. So I want to cover this because some people are saying, well, maybe they're driving the price down on Bitcoin right now so they can buy it lower before these Chinese ETFs come into market, because there's going to be a huge, massive amount of money flowing into the Bitcoin with the Chinese ETFs. So I'm going to cover that on here and tell you why that might not be necessarily true, because I think you should get, the whole side of the story here and not just, one side of it. Yes, there are ETFs being approved in China, specifically in Hong Kong. And it says here several Chinese investment funds are running through their Hong Kong subsidiaries. The approval of their Bitcoin ETFs could happen much sooner than expected. As a reminder, Bitcoin has been at a standstill for over 2 years in China. Owning it is not illegal, but exchanges were banned in 2021. Thus, acquiring it in a few clicks is not possible. So it's kind of difficult for the Chinese to purchase Bitcoin currently, because there's no exchanges that are legal there. It says, however, chain analyst estimates that equivalent of $86 billion was traded between July 2022 and June 2023. It was $64 billion in Hong Kong, but Bitcoin continues to circulate underground in P2P transactions. Bitcoin miners were also banned in 2021. They now represent only 15% of the global hash rate, down from 60% before the ban, yet still many individuals continue to mine despite prohibitive electricity costs. According to Reuters, the daily volumes traded in the streets of Hong Kong reached several million yuan and sometimes tens of millions. In short, the attraction for Bitcoin is far from fading, hence the arrival of big Chinese investment funds now that BlackRock has taken the plunge. Its first approvals are likely to be announced next week, and that's reported by Reuters. And so if you look at this here, they talk about possibility of billions of dollars flowing into Bitcoin because of these ETFs. So I want to jump into this article here by CoinGate, because they kind of explain how that's not necessarily true. This article talks about the mainland Chinese. They cannot buy HK, the Hong Kong Bitcoin ETFs, and they want to clarify that. So they're saying here, despite previous reports from Matrixport predicting significant capital inflows from mainland Chinese investments into the Hong Kong listed Bitcoin ETFs, Recent clarifications from several issuers have dismissed these expectations. The issuers have confirmed that mainland Chinese funds are prohibited from investing in such cryptocurrency-related ETFs by regulatory constraints. So, basically they're not going to, a lot of people are still not going to be able to purchase these ETFs because of the regulatory constraints. It's not legal. So it's not legal for them to purchase it. So it's still, going to be a problem. It's not going to push a lot of money flowing into Bitcoin just because these ETFs are approved. So that's kind of the other side of the coin for this story here, is it may not get a huge influx of money coming into Bitcoin over the next few weeks just because these ETFs could be approved in Hong Kong. Doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be a bunch of money flowing into it because of the restrictions that are still in place there. So you have to keep that in mind. It is good news that these ETFs are launching in Hong Kong, but it's not going to cause as great of a impact as what people were kind of expecting it to, at least in the short term. In the long term, it could, as the regulatory situation could change and then money could flow into it later on. Maybe by the end of this year, some of that regulatory constraint could be lifted and push, China into a bull run. So we'll have to see about that. They are already pushing money into their economy, and that was kind of helping stimulate things with crypto, but can be very difficult to purchase cryptocurrency there because of the exchanges being banned. But that's pretty much what I got for this video, guys. My personal opinion on this, and I'm not a financial expert or war or diplomacy expert or whatever, but I know our governments play around with diplomacy, that play around with wars to benefit themselves and to pretty much screw the average American out there and the citizens of all these countries. We're the ones that suffer from all these situations, while our government and all these stupid politicians benefit from it. And what their motives are, nobody really knows, but they've got their own motives, and they're basically playing a game of chess out there, and it's just a game to them pretty much for the most part. I don't think we're going into any World War III. I think we just got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that our governments are intentionally doing to cause conflict in special areas that's convenient for them, so they can get certain benefits out of these situations for their own benefit. That's just my personal opinion, guys. If we get some more FUD in the market, the prices are definitely going to be affected by it. That's how these markets work. They're psychological. So I think that we could see maybe some more FUD coming into this, the space over the next few months to drive the prices down, possibly even lower. We'll have to see if that's the case or not. I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you for sure. And nothing on my channel is financial advice, because I'm just sharing with you my personal opinion of it, and that's my personal opinion. I think that eventually the Fed's going to have to lower interest rates towards the end of this year, and hopefully we'll come into that liquidity cycle where more liquidity is flowing into the market like it always has in the past. We got the presidential election and all these other things that I think are eventually going to push them into helping us get into a bull run eventually. So hopefully that's the case. I definitely don't think that the bull run's over by any means. I think we were in a bullish phase, and I think now we're getting that correction that was expected, and maybe we'll go down lower, or maybe we just go sideways a little bit and then we take off from here. We'll have to see. Like I said, nobody really knows for sure what's going on. We just have to play it at reactionary and try to react to what's happening. But I can tell you for one thing is for sure, they're not scaring me out of my crypto. They're not making me sell my bags. I'm confidently holding. I don't really care what my portfolio looks like right now. My plan is to take profits out on the rest of my coins towards the end of this year and into 2025. We're still on track for that. If things, don't happen for some reason and we go into a bear market for some, strange reason that were to happen, it is what it is. I've already taken out a good amount of profits on this market, so I'm not at a loss if that were to happen. We'll have to see how this goes, but I think that we're cooling off, maybe get a bigger correction, and we take off into a big bull run. That's just my personal thought on this and what I think is going to happen. But there's some great prices on some coins out there if you're looking to pick some up. Doesn't mean we won't see them lower than where they're at now, so keep that in mind. You don't want to go all in, because if you would have went all in yesterday or a couple days ago when we had that first dip, now the prices are lower than that even. And so if you didn't leave some dry powder to pick it up at the lower prices, now you're missing out on the lower prices. So I never go all in on any dip. I try to just pick up a little bit, add to my portfolio, and then if we get another correction, add a little bit more. It's kind of how you play that game. And I'm not the type of DCAer where I just put money into the market regardless of the price. When we were pumping up like we were from the middle of last year to the end of the last year and in the beginning of this year, I wasn't sticking a lot of money into alts because they had pumped up so much. I didn't feel comfortable doing that. There were certain coins that were still good buys that I put money into, certain coins that hadn't taken off yet. Those were the ones that I was putting money into, and some of the projects that didn't even launch yet. So that's kind of how I've been playing that game. And then I buy when we get the big dips. That's buy low, sell high. That's my strategy. I don't sell when people FUD and crush my bag down. My portfolio's down like 6 figures right now. It is what it is. I don't really care. It's not going to bother me. I'm not depending on this money to survive. This is my crypto investment, and I'll take profits out on it when I'm ready to, and when it starts hitting my price targets, hopefully later this year and into 2025. But we'll have to see how things play out. But that's kind of how I'm playing this out. If you bought recently and you're down in your portfolio, it does suck. But I don't let them FUD me out of my coins and make me sell them. I just wait for prices to recover, whether that takes 6 months, 9 months, whatever it takes. It could take a while for the prices to recover, but once they do, then what's done is done, and you just go and move on from there. But the lower prices, I try to add more to my portfolio. The higher prices, I try to get rid of my portfolio. That's how I play the game. That's pretty much how you have to do it. Don't let the psychological aspect of it bother you, because it is a psychological game, and it's designed to scare you out of your coins at the lower prices and make you buy at the higher prices, and you have to do the opposite. It's a mind game, so keep that in mind. But that's pretty much what I got for this video, guys. Don't forget to check out Cryptonomy. Just remember, they are a yield platform. Yield platforms are higher risk. Keep that in mind. Do your own due diligence. But I appreciate it, guys, and we'll see you on the next video.